Please stay focused.
I understand your question.
What is the
I
question?
understand your question.
Please listen.
Okay, let me answer.
You clearly did not.
Okay, let me
I'll
answer.
repeat
Okay, let me answer.
for your
I
information.
understand. Let me
Please,
answer. Let me
one
answer.
second.
Let me
One
answer.
second.
Can I answer?
No. Wait. I'll repeat. Before you answer, if you have to take any drugs to get your mind right, please do all that. But focus on the question right now. Having lived in the UK, having access to all sorts of historical resources, Omar, what evidence have you got to bring before us at Speaker's Corner in the UK where knowledge is exchanged to prove or to demonstrate that Abraham, Moses, and Jesus were Muslims?
Okay, first of all, to convince you with that, I have to convince you with something before this. I have to convince you, firstly, you have to convince there is a God, and there is, if you don't convince with this first thing, you will not going to be convinced by anything. I have to talk to you about the Islam itself.
Did you understand the question?
I understand your question.
Listen to me.
Okay, I'll give you the evidence.
Don't panic.
I will
Don't.
give you the evidence.
Thank you.
I will give you the evidence.
If you please focus, thank
The
you.
evidences are verses from the Holy Quran.
Yeah,
You are not going to believe the Holy Quran. That's why I have to convince
Did
you.
you listen to him? What did I say? Islam is a religion of delusion. Did I not say this?
Understand what I'm saying?
So what does he say? Whereas I asked about characters who showed up on the face of the earth centuries. Please listen.
I have to convince
Please,
you.
excuse me.
You have to convince with
My dear
Quran
Omar,
first,
please listen.
Then you can convince by
Please listen.
small things.
Please listen. Please listen, yeah?
I'm listening.
You're not listening.
You are
You're
not
rambling
convinced
on.
by God. How
In
are you
English,
convinced by people.
in English, the term is rambling. That's what you're doing. Vomiting, verbal diarrhea, not useful. This is Speaker's Corner. If you're ill, verbal diarrhea, you can find out the closest NHS hospital, get admitted. Please,
Thank you so
now
much.
stay focused.
I'm fine.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now prove that you are fine by staying focused on the question. I completely agree that the delusional Islam thinks that Abraham was a Muslim. I'm not disagreeing.
When Muslims claim that Abraham, Moses, and Jesus were Muslims, that statement rests on how the Qur'an defines the term Muslim. The word itself comes from the ancient Semitic root salam, a root that carries the sense of peace, submission, and surrender. In this broad sense, anyone who submits to God can be called a Muslim. From the Qur'an's perspective, Abraham is portrayed not as a Jew or a Christian, but as a man of upright faith, a Muslim. Moses is described as leading his people to submit to God, and the disciples of Jesus are even depicted as saying, "We are Muslims." Theologically, then, Islam asserts a straight line that connects the ancient prophets all the way to Muhammad. But when we step into the realm of history, the difficulties become clear. There is no textual evidence from the time of Abraham, Moses, or Jesus that refers to a religion called Islam, which only emerged in the 7th century. In Jewish and Christian sources, Abraham is known as the father of Israel's faith. Moses is the lawgiver who gave Israel its identity. Jesus, in the 1st century Jewish context, is recognized as the Messiah. None of these traditions ever speak of Islam as a religious system. In this sense, the Quran's claim functions as a retroactive reconstruction, placing a new identity on figures from the distant past. A closer look at language makes this sharper. Yes, the word Muslim can be used generically to mean one who submits to God. In that sense, Abraham submitted, Moses submitted, and even Jesus submitted to God. But as a formal religious identity, the word Muslim belongs specifically to the community of Muhammad. To apply that label to figures who lived centuries before is clearly an anachronism. The theological implications are significant. If the ancient prophets truly were Muslims, their scriptures should align seamlessly with the Quran. Yet the much older manuscripts of the Torah and the Gospels reveal content that is very different from the Quran. What this shows is that Islam is not simply claiming continuity, it is actively redefining history. It reframes the key figures of Judaism and Christianity in its own narrative while denying the original testimony of those traditions.
And that is exactly where I even started. Islam is a religion of delusion. I completely agree. For whatever strange reason, Islam or the Quran thinks against all evidence that Abraham was a Muslim, that Jesus was a Muslim, that Moses was a Muslim, that King Saul was a Muslim, and all sorts of other characters were Muslims. The Quran thinks so. I completely agree. And that is exactly where I told you earlier clearly that the writers of the Quran, the early Muslims, and Muslims throughout time clearly have had access to some strange drug which brings about delusion, quite strong delusion. I agree. My question to you was not whether the Quran claims that or not. My question to you was, do you have Abraham, for your information, do you know when Abraham lived? Doesn't have a clue. I would have thought so. Muslim,
Finish.
doesn't have a clue.
Finish.
Do you know or not?
Yeah, I
do you know
know.
when did
Yes, I
Abraham
know.
live?
Live.
Live.
He lived in...
Please.
Let me tell you exactly.
Please.
Ibrahim, he lived in the area between Jordan. Let me explain to you. Why are you laughing?
Do you understand the word when?
Let me finish.
Excuse me, please. Do you understand the word
The
when?
time, I don't know what the time. if
Just
we-
tell me. Just tell me you don't know.
It's a chronology. It's something in
Yeah, it's chronology.
Yeah, it's a chronology. If we
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back,
it's
chronology.
yeah. We get it from calendar. They
Because
say anything
it
else
is not- it is
except
not-
the answer.
it is not-
Please,
it is
excuse me,
not a big
Omar,
problem.
don't ramble on. Verbal diarrhea is not
You
useful.
talk- Let me
Stay focused.
Let me talk.
Do you know when Abraham lived? If you don't know, just tell me you don't know.
Yes.
Please then tell me, when did he live?
Stop. Shut up and let me finish. If we go back to chronology, and we will understand where and when Ibrahim exactly lived.
Yes, when? When was that?
Let me finish up.
Yeah, sure.
Please, let me finish up.
Sure.
And this is not the main point. You ask me.
Do you know or don't you know? Just
I
tell.
finish?
Are you a
Can I
liar?
finish, please?
Like your Muhammad, are you a
Can
liar?
I finish, please?
No.
Can I finish?
Just tell me, do you know or don't you know?
I know.
Yeah. Please tell me.
Please let me.
Liar.
Let me finish.
Pants
Let
on
me
fire.
finish. Let me finish.
Please.
Don't interrupt
Tell me when Abraham lived.
You are old man. Have your mind. Let me finish. Me as a Muslim, let me finish, okay?
Yeah.
I gave you your time, you spoke.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a Muslim. My reference is the Holy Quran.
Yeah.
And you,
Only delusion.
please let me finish.
Yeah.
Please let me finish. Me as a Muslim, my reference is the Holy Quran.
Yeah.
And you as a non-Muslim, so as long as I'm a Muslim and my reference is the Holy Quran, so I'm
You're
going.
repeating right now. Please continue. Yes.
I'm going to talk my evidences from the Holy Quran, which you don't believe. Here is the matter.
No,
I have to
actually, wow. Do you know or don't you know when Abraham lived? Please. Thank you. Instead of focusing on the one question I asked, he went into
By the way,
all of the.
you
Excuse me,
have a
sir.
right-
What did he say? What did
You have a
Omar?
right towards your account,
Omar.
by the way.
You
You
see?
have a right towards your account.
Resort.
I'm sorry for that.
Thank you very much. Please escape. Please escape the entire nation. Please run away.
When we speak about Abraham, we are tracing the footsteps of a figure placed historically in the early second millennium before Christ, during the time when the great kingdoms of Mesopotamia still held power. The book of Genesis tells us that Abraham came from Ur of the Chaldeans, an important city in southern Mesopotamia, known both as a center of trade and as a hub of moon god worship. From there, his family migrated north to Haran until Abraham received the call of God to leave his homeland and journey to the land of Canaan. Archaeology and ancient documents from Mari and Nuzi describe the social and legal practices of that age, marriage contracts, adoption agreements, and treaties between clans. Strikingly, these details line up with the Genesis account, showing that Abraham was not a mythological figure, but someone firmly set within the real landscape of the ancient Near East. The description of Abraham as the Hebrew also carries deep meaning. In Genesis 14:13, he is called Ha'ivri, literally, the one from across, or the one who has crossed over. Geographically, this makes sense, for Abraham had crossed the Euphrates from Mesopotamia into Canaan. Genealogically, the term is linked to the patriarch Eber, a descendant of Shem, so that Eberite, or Hebrew, also signals his ancestral line. Ancient records from Mesopotamia and Egypt even mention groups called Haberu, or Apiru, foreigners, wanderers without fixed land. While not identical, the parallel is striking. Abraham was an outsider, a sojourner called by God to live differently from the world around him. What ultimately makes Abraham unique, however, is not merely his migration, but his faith. God promised him not only land and descendants, but a blessing that would extend to all nations on earth. Paul, in Galatians, interprets this as the gospel announced beforehand to Abraham, that through his offspring, namely Christ, all nations would be blessed. The letter to the Hebrews adds that Abraham lived as one who was waiting for a city with lasting foundations, a city designed and built by God. And Jesus himself affirms in John 8:56, "Abraham rejoiced to see my day. He saw it and was glad." This reveals that Abraham, through faith, looked far beyond his own era and gazed upon the fulfillment of God's promise in the coming of the Messiah.